Cool. Is it working? Yeah, fine.
Working. Working?
Perfect, thanks. Before we start, a big round of applause to the camera guy. Honestly, he's doing a crazy job this afternoon. I saw him flying, running, driving, so thanks a lot. Welcome everyone. I'm Eike Emels, client director from Microsoft, as we just heard. And yeah, very happy. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to our next session, The Future of Creativity, Can Machines Truly Imagine? Yeah, AI is accelerating super fast, faster than ever before, as we all know, but consumer trust is also becoming more fragile. I received some data from Julia from Kantar, our marketing research company. 9 out of 10 marketing decision makers feel very positive about Gen AI, but only 31% of the consumers feel the same. And actually 60% are even worried about fake or misleading content. That's something we would like to discuss today, we would like to explore, dive into. Yeah, let's move on. Give me just a second. Cool, and we will also, the first topic of the first round is how can we keep human creativity in an AI-driven world. And for that round, I would like to ask the first question to Anna. Anna, Bayer produces now more than 30% of its digital content via AI. What opportunities and challenges come with that scaling AI at this pace?
It's a good number. Huh?
Yeah, it's an impressive number. Yeah.
So I think the biggest opportunity is the same for all of us. Yeah, it's about the efficiency. We can create more, faster, cheaper. Yeah, then there's also, we can be more consumer-centric by being locally relevant. So especially the smaller countries, they used to just replicate what the bigger ones were doing. Now they can tailor-make it and therefore be closer to their consumers and create more emotions and reaction. And then third, we also can drive more consistency and keep our visual brand identity across the globe. Yeah, but that's all about the opportunities. We also have challenges. We work in the pharmaceutical company sector, so yeah, we are very much restricted, and rightly so. Yeah, so patient safety is at the heart of everything that we do. So we need to monitor very closely everything that is leaving, and by scaling so fast, yeah, we also need to scale the monitoring, and we need to be very careful that nothing slips. So therefore, we keep human always in the loop. That's very important for us. But generally speaking, yeah, the opportunities are overweighing the challenges. And I brought you today also an example on how we are using AI in our creative development. So this example is for the brand Clarity. Not sure if you know it. We don't have that brand here in Germany. But it's actually the biggest brand we have at Bayer Consumer Health, bigger than aspirin. It is available in 90 countries across the globe. However, we make 60% of our revenue in the US. So all of the assets tend to be very much centered around the US consumer, which was difficult for a lot of countries to reapply. So in this case, we actually took a US TV campaign, and we used AI to reapply it to another cultural context, and in this case, the Middle East. So in the US, we are talking about the consumers. It's all about the self-expression of loving their dogs, but unfortunately having a pet allergy. In the Middle East, it's more about the family context, and that the pet is integrated in the family, and they don't have so many dogs, they rather have cats. So looks like a super simple brief, yeah, just exchange the dog with the cat, make the family. Yeah. That being said, yeah, for sure, we took the same structure from the ad and then just briefed to replicate it in this context. We for sure had cheaper and faster production, and also you have to imagine we don't have to pay talent rights when we're using AI, so that was also a big benefit. Huh? However, it looks super simple. When you're asking the team who worked on it, it was not. It took a lot of iteration to really come to that kind of quality. And the key challenge was to really bringing across the emotion and that this moment of relief, the facial expression on the woman, yeah, that this is really creating this connective bond with our audience. And here AI is not yet so strong, so that takes a lot of effort, and therefore, yeah, we need the humans in the loop.
Got it. Very impressive. Very good example. I think that's something which resonates with many marketers. Raphael, let me get you into this round. I mean, everyone knows Mutti, yeah, the high-quality tomato products. How do you integrate AI into a brand where authenticity and emotional heritage are core assets?
Well, that's quite a live question every day for me, my day-to-day work, because there's a long history to treasure of Mutti. You know, the company has been only focused on tomatoes for 125 years. Yeah, there are not so many companies with that history in the food world, and also with some inventions like, you know, the tube, which, you know, where food is packaged in a tube, which looks like a toothpaste. Well, the first food product in the world was invented by Mutti in 1951. So authenticity is absolutely critical for us, yeah? And only human have the creative potential to tell that story in a credible way. That said, AI is a very powerful tool, and it does great things in doing content faster and releasing money to stuff which really matters. So that's absolutely critical as well. So for me, it's important that I always tell to my team to follow this journey in a structured way. I call it the hamburger model, yeah, because the hamburger has 3 layers, yeah. And I always say to my team, okay, start with a human standpoint. Where do we want to bring the brand from a vision standpoint? Yeah? What are the challenges and opportunities? AI will not help you with that. So do that as a starting point. Then AI comes in as a second layer and does things faster, yeah, and in an optimized way. And then, last but not least, again, the human factor to really make sure that supervise that the tone of voice is right, that the packaging is right. So for me, it's really important that we don't get lazy. Yeah, okay, let's throw it into AI, problem solved. Know that we always follow this hamburger model, yeah? And at least it sticks with my team. So it's a journey for us. This is a category which is actually quite dull, shelf-stable tomato category. So it's not the most sexy category. And our job is to elevate that category to everything what tomatoes can do. So we created immersive dinners around the world, yeah, in the UK and in Germany. We just did it 2 weeks ago in Hamburg. And that was such intense work, 4 months of preparation to get all the pictures in. And can we show that video?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that would be great. And that leads me to the point, AI hopefully in the future will help us to do that in other countries as well, because it was a very intense manual piece of work, because the photos didn't exist in the internet. They came from the archives. Let's take it away.
Look at the video, yeah.
Buonasera a tutti, good evening. Very often tomatoes are just perceived like a commodity, and we believe that is not the case. We think that tomatoes are really one of the elements that makes the difference. This evening we would like to celebrate. I hope you will enjoy the dinner. Thank you very much for being here. Good evening. Try to give you a double vision about the world of tomatoes, what we eat, what is the Pomodorino d'Oro, And before finishing, there is a small surprise outside.
Great video.
Thank you.
Cool. Also with regards to the time, let's get some more data and let's also take a look at a consumer's perspective. Julia, how are consumers actually responding to AI-generated content, to AI-generated ads?
Okay, on this point, let's kind of spark the conversation a bit because I want to make it a bit more provocative and don't forget about consumers. So we as marketers sit here and we are really very excited about AI. So regardless which conference you go, so you kind of look what is happening on stages, everyone is just talking about AI and how cool it is, and the same is actually happening right now. I talk to consumers every day and they do know what they think, and then, unfortunately I have to say that they don't like what we are doing. So, and that is why I'm really glad to be here to a bit of kind of raise the bar and raise the ambition and to say, guys, that's cool. It helps you to be more effective, to be faster, simpler, you don't forget humans, etc. But please don't forget a consumer, because so far they don't really like it. So you mentioned some data, 1 out of 3 like what we are doing, which means 2 out of 3 don't like what we are doing. So that is kind of the simple truth that we need to think first before we even start thinking about AI, how cool it is and how applicable it is for our advertising. To your point about emotions, we do know AI-generated ads generate much more emotions than other ads produced by humans. Unfortunately, these are the negative ones.
Negative ones.
Exactly. So specifically in Germany, we do have a problem, and stereotypes about German consumers are kind of the ones who don't trust, who don't believe in things. They don't, in AI, they don't trust even more than in any other ads. So that is why kind of our job here, okay, we're kind of learning how to apply this, but our job is really to make something that consumers will like, and we are not there yet. So that is why I would rather encourage us to have a conversation how we don't forget about real effectiveness in market while we are actually producing the AI-generated ads. So this is really cool that we made the step 1, but before doing the step 1, I want to remind us that actually we need to make the step 0 and think about consumer first. So sorry, but I was kind of trying to judge the real ones who are actually generating sales for all of us. So that is why I really encourage you not to forget about them.
Like that angle, really. Let's dive a bit deeper, because as we've just heard, not everything is perfectly fine with AI. I mean, it can be a great opportunity, but there are also boundaries and red lines. A question to all of you panelists: where should AI not be used in creativity and why? And I would like to hand it over again to Anna to answer it first.
So listening to Julia, we should probably all think about that a bit deeper.
It was not personal, Anna, so I kind of rather try to turn to marketers.
Look, it's exactly what we found. Bringing across the emotion and the consumer appeal is kind of the most difficult one when working with AI. Yeah? So for us, it's also the whole topic of being responsible when using AI, so especially this disruption of bias and bringing really the cultural context, because if it's not authentic, if we are then even creating more bias, I think it's rather harmful than it's really resonating with the consumers. And that's what we are also training our employees, what we are talking very openly, where we're giving certain frames, yeah, and where we are paying special attention. And then again, it's all about not letting the AI just generate on their own. It's keeping this human factor, monitoring, and also challenging ourselves. It's good enough what we are producing here. Yeah? And then, I mean, obviously, testing comes also then. We shouldn't just test our TV copies, but not test the AI copies and just let them fly. So having also the same standards, it's very important to us. Yeah.
Okay, like that. Raphael?
Yeah, in this very moment, to
Yeah.
answer this very quickly, December 25, where we are right now, I think AI is really struggling with long-form content.
Long-form content?
Yeah, short forms is brilliant, but long form, I have not cracked it. I don't know if somebody else cracked it, but it's really tough to get that done by AI. And the second limitation I see is to get the right packaging. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have noticed how much we have to really spend time in changing the packaging because they just took a packaging from, I don't know, from a country which we are not even present. Yeah. So I think there are some glitches here and there. I would stay away from these two things. So just trusting on packaging only and long form for now. Yeah. But it's a powerful tool. Who knows what happens in 6 months?
Yeah, sure. Which guardrails are non-negotiable from your perspective?
Obviously, compliance and definitely making sure that you're really distinctive. Yeah, if you're just telling a generic story of tomatoes, what's the point of choosing Mutti? So for me, the guardrail number one is distinctiveness.
Got it. Julia, what's Kantar's perspective, or your perspective on it? Not Kantar's perspective only.
We actually had a very powerful conversation yesterday with the board of MMA about the thing is, shall we mark AI-generated ads as AI-generated ads, yes or no? And again, kind of turning to consumers, if you ask them, they will say, yes, I want kind of transparency, want to understand what I want. And by the way, they can spot it by themselves, but they still want it to be marked. On the other hand, once they realize it's AI, they will never trust it. So that is why you kind of can can do what they want, but at the same time you kind of build trust, so you trust with this. So that is why the challenge, what I see, how do we ensure that we remain transparent with the consumers, but at the same time do it in a way that actually we kind of help them believe what we do and not kind of damage the feeling that they have.
Like that nuance, very cool. Let's get back to the main question of today's panel. Can machines truly imagine, or do they only remix what already exists? Raphael,
for now it just remixes. It's mimicking words and so on to create a creative from scratch. I see some limitations for now. Yeah? It's really about taking what's existing and reshuffling it. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Anna, do you agree with that?
I totally agree. Yeah, I would just add that there's also a lot of power in the just remixing, which was a lot of underutilized. We have so many assets produced over the years, over the countries, and there was always limited transparency what's around. So AI technology can really help with that.
Okay, Julia, your view?
Probably to add to this, so the machines cannot really imagine right now, and honestly, they not even can do the basic things. So, for example, you could imagine that AI should kind of at least integrate your brand in the right way, so it's recognizable, it's rememberable, etc. What we do know from the data is that actually in AI-generated ads, the branding is actually working even worse when the humans doing this. So that is why kind of the basic still needs to be fixed. But I do believe machine will be able to imagine. The question is the time when it will happen and how it will be possible.
Good point, yeah. Then one more question. Is AI pushing creativity forward, or is it flattering it?
The data says that right now that we are rather kind of declining when we are talking about creativeness, effectiveness. So AI-generated ads are less noticeable. They are actually letting you deliver less impact than the human content. But again, we are just starting, so I'm pretty sure this will change. But for now, we need to crack the code. We need to start with the basics with the AI first and make it really effective, and then kind of develop it into the future.
Great takeaway. Cool. I think it's time for the final round. I called it the future lightning round. Who wants the future lightning round? Hands, please. Yeah, a few more. Yeah. Cool. Let's take a look at the future a bit. So I have 3 questions to all of you. We start with the first one. What excites you most about AI in creativity? Who would like to take this question first.
Well, obviously that we are saving money. Yeah. So in the past, I had to spend 150,000 euro for doing a shooting of food and recipes, and it took me 30 days to create 5 videos. Now it's 1 day and almost €0. Yeah. So that efficiency we create is what excites me the most.
Anna, what excites you the most?
It's also how the teams are really embracing this technology that's here to stay and how they're constantly piloting and trying in order to make it better. I think that's super exciting.
Nice, yeah. Julia, anything to add?
Probably how we are learning on this journey, just because it's not only AI is getting better, it's us who is getting better with the kind of all these new tools, etc. So this is what excites me the most.
Cool. What concerns you the most?
Probably 2 things. One is that humanity gets lazy or dumber.
Don't worry about this.
Like, I think that is on a general note. On a Mutti front, if we put everything in the internet and then AI remixes it, and we are quite distinctive as a brand, but once it's out there, they will remix it for another brand, so we might lose distinctiveness, because it will be very easy for another small, nimble brand to create content, So that is what's worrying me, and this is why we need to not stop inventing and creating great content, so that the others don't come behind.
Shall I continue? I probably just want to repeat my first point. What concerns me, that we are focusing on efficiency, but not on the effectiveness of AI-generated ads. I really want us to take care of the effectiveness as well.
Yeah, good point. Anna?
Well, nothing to add here.
Okay, then.
Didn't want to scare you.
The next question is for you then. Your golden rule for using AI in creativity.
Yeah, as already said, keep the human in the loop. Let them monitor, let nothing go out, which is then maybe biased.
Are you also using the hamburger model?
Yeah, kind of.
Good.
I will use that expression as of now.
Cool, Raphael, apart from the hamburger model, what's your golden rule?
Golden rule is to learn, and apply it fast. This is what I'm saying to my team. And personally, I'm learning right now a lot about search, comparing AI agents versus traditional search. In the past, it was paid media and clicks. And now you need to be part of conversations, reviews, in order to be mentioned in the AI recommendation. And that is really changing the game. So I see a big business for Reddit coming. I saw them today. So this is, you are not going to be out of job, that's for sure.
Julia?
Probably just to finish with the human in the loop, and by this I hope we all mean also the consumer in the loop.
Yeah, that's a good takeaway. Cool, let me quickly sum it up. So we've learned that AI can scale creativity, but imagination, judgment, and brand will remain human, and we've seen great examples from Anna and also from Raphael, so hopefully this was valuable to all of you. Feel free to take the time afterwards to also speak to Anna and Raphael and Julia. That's it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Eike.
Bye.